Why Tommy never lost a tooth. It was lunchtime in the school canteen. Kids sat in groups, eating, laughing, and talking. At one table, the talk was all about teeth. Big teeth, little teeth, missing teeth. "I lost my third one yesterday," said Mia, smiling wide. She had a big gap right in the middle. "I got 2 coins from the tooth fairy," said Zane. He held up a little box. "It glows in the dark." "My tooth came out while I was eating toast," said Ruby. Everyone laughed. Tommy sat at the end of the table, eating his sandwich. He didn't say anything. He opened his mouth just a little to chew. All his teeth were still there. Not even one had fallen out. Not even one was wobbly. "I still have all my teeth," he thought. He looked at the others. Their smiles had holes and spaces. Some even had letters from the tooth fairy. Tommy felt a little left out. Just then, Max leaned over and looked at Tommy. "You still have every single tooth?" Tommy nodded. "Yeah, all of them." Max grinned. "Maybe your teeth are super glued?" Everyone laughed. Tommy smiled too, but it was small. He took another bite of his sandwich and stayed quiet. Inside, he felt strange. Why hadn't he lost a tooth yet? Was he different? The other kids went back to talking and laughing. Tommy sat and thought quietly. He didn't know the answer, but he wanted to find out. It was playtime. Tommy and his 2 friends, Max and Layla, sat under the climbing frame. Other kids were running around and playing, but they had something more important to do. "We're going to check your teeth," said Layla. "We need to know for sure." Tommy opened his mouth a little. Layla leaned closer and started to count. "Still 20, she said. "All baby teeth. All still here." Max picked up a pencil from his pocket. "I'm not going to write," he said. "I'm going to test." He held the pencil like a little tool. One by one, he gently tapped Tommy's front teeth. Tap, tap. Max said. "Try moving one. Push it with your tongue." Tommy pushed with his tongue. Nothing. "Try another one," said Layla. Tommy tried the top right. Still, nothing. Max tapped again. "Nope, solid." He gave Tommy a silly look. "Like bricks." Tommy gave a small laugh. But inside, he felt unsure. He looked at Layla and Max. "Why won't even one tooth wiggle?" he asked. Layla sat back and thought. "Maybe they're slow," she said. "Maybe they're too comfortable," said Max, laughing. Tommy didn't laugh this time. He pulled some grass and looked at his shoes. Everyone else was already in the Lost Tooth Club. He wasn't. "I'm the only one who hasn't lost any," he said quietly. Layla nodded. "That's true." Max looked serious now. "Maybe this is a real mystery." Tommy looked up. "A tooth mystery?" "Yes," said Max. "And we're gonna solve it." Tommy smiled just a little. The wind blew gently across the grass. The climbing frame creaked. Tommy didn't know why his teeth wouldn't move, but now he had friends to help. That afternoon, Tommy had an idea. "We should start a club," he said. "A club to solve the tooth mystery," Max clapped. "Yes, like detectives," Layla nodded. "We can call ourselves the Tooth Detectives." They all agreed. Tommy took out some paper from his bag. Layla borrowed a pencil. Max found a big paper clip to keep it all together. "Let's ask questions," said Layla. They wrote down their first ones. "When did your first tooth fall out? Did it hurt? Did it make a sound? How many have you lost?" They walked around the playground. They asked other kids and wrote down the answers. Ruby said, "Mine came out when I was 5. It just dropped." Zane said, "Mine made a little pop sound." Mia said, "I didn't feel a thing." The tooth fairy came the same night. They thanked everyone and ran to the back of the play shed. It was a quiet spot with a small wall. "Let's tape the answers here," said Max. Layla used her sticker sheet to stick the notes up. Soon, the wall was covered with names and tooth stories. Then Zane came over. "I want to help," he said. "Great," said Tommy. "You can draw a chart." Zane pulled out his colored pencils. He made a big box chart on yellow paper. At the top, he wrote, tooth tracker. On one side, he listed all the kids' names. Next to each name, he wrote how many teeth they had lost. Some had lost 2, some had lost 5. One even lost 8. Tommy looked at the list. Next to his name, it said 0. He stared at the number. 0. None. Not even 1. He felt a little strange again, but Max patted his shoulder. "We're gonna figure it out," he said. Layla smiled. "Every mystery has an answer." Tommy nodded. The tooth detectives were on the case. It was free playtime. Tommy and Max walked together behind the football field. They liked to explore near the trees. It was quiet there, and most kids didn't go that far. "Maybe we'll find a clue out here," Max said. He kicked a pine cone and jumped over a stick. Tommy followed slowly. He looked down at the grass, thinking about his teeth again. All 20, still there. Suddenly, he stopped. "Wait, what's that?" he said. Near the roots of a big tree was a white stone. It wasn't like other rocks. It was small, smooth, and shaped a little like a tooth. Tommy bent down and picked it up. "Wow," whispered Max. "It even looks like a molar." Tommy turned it over. On the back, there was a scribble. It was written in blue crayon. The letters were wiggly but clear. It said, "Some teeth take their time. That's okay." Tommy blinked. "Who wrote this?" he asked. Max looked around. "There's no one else here." Just then, Layla came running over. She saw the stone in Tommy's hand. "Oh," she said. "You found it." "You know what it is?" asked Max. Layla smiled. "There's a story," she said, "about the first tooth fairy. She visits before your first tooth falls out. She doesn't take anything, she just leaves a sign." Tommy stared at the stone. "Do you think this is the sign?" Layla nodded. "Maybe it means your teeth are fine. They're just waiting. Like you." Tommy looked at the stone again. He held it close in his hand. His mouth still had all his teeth. But now, he didn't feel bad about it. He smiled. "Maybe my teeth just need more time," he said. Max nodded. "And maybe that's okay." The next day at lunch, Tommy sat with Layla, Max, and Zane. He pulled the little tooth-shaped stone out of his pocket. "I've been thinking," he said, "we should make a new group." Layla raised an eyebrow. "A new tooth detective team?" "No," said Tommy with a smile. "A group for kids like me. Kids who haven't lost any teeth yet." Max clapped. "Yes, that's a great idea." Zane nodded. "We can call it something cool." Tommy grinned. "How about the No Gap Gang?" Everyone cheered. They took out paper and pencils. Zane started drawing a logo. Layla wrote the name in big letters. Max cut little sticker shapes. Tommy drew small, smiling teeth with arms and legs. They looked like happy baby teeth. Layla said, "Let's give these to people who join." Max handed out the stickers during break time. Some kids laughed and said, "I want one." Others said, "What's the No Gap Gang?" Tommy stood tall and said, "It's for kids who haven't lost any teeth yet." "But I already lost one," said Mia. "That's okay," said Layla. "You can still join. We're just having fun," Zane added. "Our motto is, strong teeth, big ideas." Soon, more kids joined. Gap or no gap, they all wanted to be part of it. They made up a secret handshake. They even planned a tooth parade around the playground. Tommy wore a sticker on his shirt. It had a big white tooth with sunglasses. He felt proud, not because his teeth were still there, but because he started something fun. "Being the only one felt lonely," Tommy said. "But now we're all in this together." Max nodded. "It's fun being part of something." Tommy smiled wide. All 20 baby teeth still there. And that was just fine. Tommy sat with Max, Layla, and Zane on the bench outside. The sun was warm, and birds chirped nearby. Tommy reached into his lunchbox and pulled out a soft, juicy pear. He took a big bite. Chomp. Then he stopped. Ow! Wait, what was that? He held the pear and blinked. Something felt strange. He moved his tongue around inside his mouth. He pressed it gently on one of his front teeth. It moved. Just a little. But it moved. Tommy's eyes got big. He pressed again. Yes! The tooth was wiggling! He jumped up from the bench. I have a wiggly tooth, he shouted. Max dropped his cracker. Really? Layla stood up fast. Let us see. Tommy opened his mouth and pointed. That one, it's moving. Zane leaned in. Try it again. Tommy pressed his tongue to the tooth. It moved again. Just a little wiggle. Everyone gasped. It's true, said Max. Your first wiggly tooth. Tommy smiled so wide it almost hurt. He had waited a long time for this. Layla clapped her hands. This is big news. Zane made a pretend trumpet sound. Da-da-da-da! Tommy has joined the Wiggly Tooth Club. More kids came over. What's going on? Tommy has his first wobbly tooth, Max said proudly. Everyone cheered. Tommy got high fives from all his friends, one after another. Nice going. You did it! Your teeth aren't super glued after all. Tommy laughed. He felt happy. Really, really happy. Not just because the tooth moved, but because he didn't worry anymore. It happened in its own time, and that was okay. He looked at his pear and took another bite. This time, he chewed slowly just in case. That afternoon, after school, Tommy walked back to the trees behind the football field. The sun was lower now. The sky was soft and orange. The air felt quiet. In his pocket, he held the white, tooth-shaped stone. He had found it there before when he still had 0 wiggly teeth. Now, he had one. Tommy knelt beside the tree. He looked at the roots and the soft ground. Then, carefully, he placed the stone back where he had found it. Someone else might need this too, he whispered. He took out a small piece of paper. He had written something simple on it. Teeth don't need to hurry. You're already growing. He folded the note and tucked it under the stone. Then he smiled. A big, proud smile. And this time he felt a wiggle when he smiled. A real wiggle! He stood up and brushed off his trousers. He heard voices calling from the playground. Tommy, come on! It was Max, Layla, and Zane. They were waving and waiting for him. Tommy ran to them, laughing as he went. He didn't feel left behind anymore. He didn't feel different in a bad way. He felt ready. Happy himself. And with every step, he felt his tooth move just a little more. Not much, but enough. Moral lesson. Everyone grows in their own time. It's okay to be the last. It's okay to be different. It's okay to wait. You're not behind, you're becoming you. Follow for more. Love stories about growing up, being brave, and feeling proud of who you are? Follow for more joyful, kind-hearted children's adventures. Subscribe for more. Want more stories that help kids feel seen, safe, and strong? Subscribe now for new tales every week full of friendship, fun, and heart.